inviting John and Aparna and TJ to the stage to answer your questions, and join me in thanking them for their artistry, their talent, and sharing the story of courage and inspiration with such generosity of spirit. Aparna and John and TJ, if you'd please come down to say hello and to answer questions. It was extraordinarily moving. And before we take questions, Aparna, I will just say, I'm sure your mother was smiling and so proud of you. Please. Looks like we have one microphone for this, so we're going to ask people to project when it's time for questions. John, I'm going to hand you the mic, and while I start looking for that, I think one of my first questions is, what has it been like for all of you to share this with all of us?
Well, I have to say, it's hard to talk after that. It was very emotional because when I was working on the film, it was very technical, and so I lost perspective a little bit. And so to hear it with you all, I was able to listen to it again, and the stories were just devastated me. So thank you all.
Yeah, it's a hard to watch for me also. So since that I was there in the movie, I never watch it, to be honest. Some of the scenes I usually go out. But today it was hard to watch, but at the same time I'm happy that people say that you're not married, you don't have a son, family tree, legacy, all of that. In India, Indian people talk like this, not here. But my work is my legacy. I don't need a son. I don't need a family. I'm leaving this name, I'm leaving Pink Belt. I may not be alive after 30 years, but the Pink Belt will remain here, and that would be my legacy better than my son. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching it. Thank you all for coming today. We are so grateful, we are so thankful because the word is really spreading out. If you guys have any question, and let me tell you this, whatever you saw, that was not scripted, to be honest. I can teach women how to kick ass, but I'm not good actor. Mansi is good actress. She's a drama queen. You saw her. Complete drama queen. I'm not. So if the John would have told me like act like this and do this, I don't think that I would have definitely messed up. So some of the scenes, I was not even know the camera is on. He played all dirty with me there. Because some of the scene they said, okay, we are going out now, we done, and they out, like one of the scene when I was talking about my family on the couch with Mansi about my brother, and I can't even close these few fingers till today. And I didn't know the camera was on at that time because they already left it. So whatever you saw, he was just following me, my life there. So everything is more authentic and real, what you saw there. So thank you again, everyone. If any question anybody has, we are so happy to.
I see. Jason, I see you.
Yes, please.
It's a beautiful film. Thank you for sharing your story, sharing your hearts. I just hope that, I don't know how old this is, how long it's been out there, but I just hope that it has a lot more plans. I'm curious, what are the plans? Are you getting to the festival circuit? What's happening with the film?
You want to answer?
So this is the first thing. You're seeing it for the first time, and we submitted this very version to festivals. There's still a little bit of tweaking we're doing, but this is what it's going to look like when it's complete. We're not cutting anymore. And speaking of cutting, this is our editor, TJ Pedersen. and anyone who knows, I can't even, how many hours of footage? I mean, we could have made a TV series out of this. That's how much footage we had. And the way he cut it down, I'm in awe of that. And I'm so glad you came out. I spent COVID basically on Zoom with these two because we had done the first shooting in February. We got back to the United States, and 2 weeks later we were in lockdown. So TJ and I had to devise a way on Zoom so that I could look at what he was cutting, and it was, I don't know how he did it, but he arranged it. And I spent with TJ and his wife Sarah and Juan, we were all on Zoom, and then I would speak to Mansi and Aparna, and so it was, it was a very interesting time to be editing, let's just put it that way. And then we got it done, we entered it into a festival, and it won Best Debut Film, and I won Best Debutante Director, which I was like, I'm a debutante. And we submitted it to a couple of producers, and they said, it's really great, we love it, it's brilliant, but you have to get her life story, so you have to go back. And you have to go, see where she grew up. And so that's where all of that footage about her life came in.
After 2 years.
After 2 years. And John Lyle, who's not here, he was the cinematographer. Literally 2 years ago today, we were shooting the very first scene in the movie where she comes out and they honor her, and just one little interesting story about that. So we arrive with the crew, and we get out, and they honor all of us that very way. And it took, 15, 20 minutes to get everybody, with the leis and everything. And then I said, well, the cameras aren't on. So we really need to reshoot it one more time. That's the only thing, one of the only things that we reshot, because we didn't know that we didn't know what was happening. We just walked off the bus.
It was.
Actually, he followed, as I said. So when the karate in school, the first scene, he had no idea what's going to happen. He came 2 years ago for a final shooting in India, and I told him that I'm invited this karate in school. That's a great, they're like making champions there. So he said, okay, can I follow? I said, yeah. So they had no idea what kind of welcome is going to be there, everything, because the real scene was more energy and everything, because karate people cannot act. So when he did second time, the energy already gone, because they already poured all energy in the first time when the cameras were not on. So we reached there, and they were like jumping and clapping and garlanding, and people are touching feet, because out of respect, there is a way to give respect. So everything was done, and John was looking at me, and I came like, what happened? He said, why didn't you tell us? I said, that is the way Indian people like welcome. If we go, I'm here for, and said, I want to take that. I said, I cannot ask them to act again, welcome me again, same way. But I had to do that for sake of this movie. So the second, that is only a way they really acted, because it was already done before and the cameras were not on.
We have another question.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Aparna, John, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What's next?
To be honest, I never watched this movie on a bigger screen. So this is for me, first time like you, watching that on bigger screen. And I realized I really put on so much weight in the second scene, so I have to go on a diet. But yeah, answer of your question is, this actually, when John came to India, he talked to me about it. I thought he's joking with me. Because when your house is dirty and you're a responsible person, you get up, take the broom in your hand, you start cleaning. That is what I did. And nobody comes to that person that they want to make a movie because they're cleaning their own house. So when he came and he asked me to clean the house, I said, like, are you joking? Like, I'm just doing what is needed here. And honestly, when I'm in India, I don't know I'm doing anything great, but when I come here in America, people say, oh my God, you're doing a great job, as I can hear your voice and I can see tears. That's why I keep coming to America, because when I come here, I feel I'm doing something great. In India, nobody says that to me. So thank you, Americans, for that. And I really want this word should spread of this movie, because when we work in India, my trainers work, you have no idea what you saw in a movie, maybe a little bit, but there's much more there. And we meet lots of victims, and some are 6, 7 years old girls, own family members, I would say. And I feel so helpless. They don't even know what is happening to them. But when we give a training and they're teary eyes, so if the movie will go, because I'm in India, the women, those follow me, they are not the one who runs society. So I have a big follower, but they don't have a voice. But if a movie will be big here, outside of India, I have a louder and powerful voice. So when I speak in India to save them, I will be heard. Thank you. So why your supportive movie will do good, maybe we go back and open some that support centers for women in some cities where the doctors and lawyers and everybody is under, because they're so afraid to go to police. And as I said, so this is my only hope. If we make anything, or maybe I make any funds in I already took an oath that every penny is gonna go to run the pink belt in India and open the support centers for women. That is my dream in future. Thank you.
What has been the reaction in India to the film?
They may be going to kick me out from there. So India, I would say, and I'm not saying that I'm not against, because the society is men and women both are needed. That is, we call balanced society. So it should not be pro man or pro woman. The one is at the master, one is at the servitude. That is inequality, and none of the society can do better. So if the India, we show that movie, we haven't released that movie there at all so far. So I'm not sure that how it's gonna take it, but definitely it may help Pink Belt in the future, because once it's bigger here, it will be taken in India well. If we start from India, I don't think we will be able to do anything from there. So we are going other way. We are coming here first, making it bigger, then going back to India. I think we'll be more respected there after that, when you guys approve it. Yes, please.
It's a wonderful film. Thank you for that. And thank you for the work that you're doing. I'm just curious, how did the two of you meet and come together to do this film project?
Well, my husband, who's back there, we went to India on vacation, and it's because I read Autobiography of a Yogi and I was really interested. And this was our tour manager for Gate 1 Travel, is what it was called at the time. And one day I was sitting on the bus and I was watching these kids play, and I had done these short films, and they were like gay comedy, The Boy Next Door, about a zombie, and I thought, my career is going nowhere, and I just had this moment of serenity being in India, and I accepted it, and I was like, I accept it. And at that very moment, she grabs the microphone, and she tells this story about how she got out of an arranged marriage, and it was so truthful, but so funny, and she was such a great storyteller. And so then Juan and I said, can we sit with you at lunch? And she was like, okay, because she kind of was off by herself. And so we sat with her, and then on the tour, every story that you heard in this film, she basically told in one way or another. So if you go on a tour to India with this lady, you're going to find much more about India than you ever thought you would. And so she came to Los Angeles, and she stayed with my husband and I. And my next door neighbor, John Lyle's a cinematographer, and I said, can we capture those stories on film? Because you saw the climate. I was worried that something might happen to her, and all these stories, nobody would know about them. So we did it, and then during the filming, that line you heard where she said, I'm going to break the Guinness World Record, she just said that, and then after we cut, I said to her, can we go film you do this? And that's how it started. And then I introduced her to my business partner, and my business partner was like, let's do this. And so we went to India. And so.
We probably have time for about 2 more questions, I think. Yes, ma'am, I saw your hand.
German. I also cried my way through a lot of this. And I'm sad to say that as bad as that situation is in India and in other countries in the world, there are places here where we still have these problems as well. I'm interested, I assume that the Indian government isn't doing anything to help support Pink Belt. Is there anything that we can do to help support Pink Belt?
There are 2 ways you can help here. Make this movie big, right? Because this is a whole story. When you are connected because you saw the story. If you don't see the story, obviously there is no connection there. So obviously that movie is a big hope for us, that's for sure. And the second way, travel. Because to be honest, I was funding this Pink Belt because we don't get any support there. And so I was having good jobs and I was doing it, but pandemic collapsed everything. That's the reason I started coming to America and live here for 4 or 5 months to work here, to make money and go there 7 or 8 months and fund my Pink Belt. So then I realized that I've been working as a tour manager from 22 years. Why not to open my own company and ask people, so whatever profit I'm gonna make, I'll donate to Pink Belt. And I started that company 2 years ago. So whenever you wanna travel, India or anywhere, please do travel with us. And that is one. Second way you can help us, but there is one more way which is very different. If I take a trainings there in India, and if these young girls see someone on the screen sitting in America and giving that support to them, that you are not alone, we are with you, we are here, we are holding you. You have no idea how big it plays in their psyche that they are not alone. So if women, those are sitting here, they want to be connected, I'm happy to share my phone number and details. So when I go to India, start giving trainings, if you can spare 5 minutes from your life and come on a screen and talk to these young girls, you have no idea. They make them 2 inches taller. I'm still trying, but definitely you know what I mean. So that way also the women, because when they hear from people sitting in America, England, I think that's a great way. So these are the way you can definitely help
I
us.
saw one hand over here, yes.
I want to thank you because the perspective you brought is something that many of us as gay men have been dealing with for 50 years. When you brought up, there's a center for us, but it's worthless. So many of us over these 50 years have been trying to build a place where we have those places that bring us power. But I had to come over to the third person on the stage and thank you for the cut to Manzi on the morning of. The beautiful music and then just screaming like a banshee.
That's one of my favorite parts of the entire process was just that moment.
Perfect.
Yeah, Monty was, the comic relief that we desperately needed at times, and so that moment there was, I think John and I, this process, we've done it, we spent 5 years now, I think we're on 4 years now on this process. There's 1,000 documentaries inside that one documentary, there's a ton of stories. The one thing that stayed the entire time was that scene with Monty saying, I look like a monster. No, sorry ladies, sorry girls. It's been there ever since the beginning.
And I would add here, would you believe that when the shooting is done, I met Mansi just 20 days before. I didn't know Mansi at all. Because, I have 1 minute more, please?
Yes, of course.
So I thought before even meeting John that want to do something like this big, bringing women together actually, standing, because that is different kind of empower they have when they see they are not alone. This is when you have people supporting, standing with you. So anyways, long story short, I started, and there was one very nice official. I would not say that every Indian man is bad, because when that 20,000 women are there, these women are sent by their own husband, their own father, because they want that change too. So the women problem is not it's a social problem. right? So anyways, that one high official in Agra, he was so pro, he was so supportive, he said everything will be done. But right before that event, almost 1.5 months before, he got transferred. So I came from 99 to 0. And then I was running to every elite class and person with influence and to just help me to make this, because they book all the flights and everything. It was very stressful time, and people were, oh, we want to help you, so will you be us? Oh, I don't have a time. Oh, would you just give some money to us? Oh, I have my own charity, I do. We don't give money to others. Okay, so would you send some men to help me? Oh, my men are busy in my factory, they don't have it. So, but we are with you. We are with. I said, what kind of support is that? Like, she supported, giving a support by heart, that's not going to serve me anywhere. So, but this person, go to that, she will help you. I went to her, oh, go to that person, he'll. Anyways, I met like 40, 50 people everywhere, same. So I met her father, as she said, and the father said, oh, my daughter will do that, and that was the last person. I didn't want to hear any other person. I said, just forget it, go back, bring out all the savings from my bank, every penny, take all my pink belt, and just do it. But my colleague who was with me said, this is the last person meet. So I just met her, and she didn't want to even meet me because she thought I'm some kind of, as she said, like they talk nonsense. So she thought I'm gonna talk nonsense. So she kind of refused on the phone, and I was already like a little bit angry. So I said, ma'am, if you want to meet me till 4 o'clock, I have a time, otherwise just forget it. And she thought, what kind of woman is she? She needs favor from me, and she is giving a time that, oh, come this time and help me, otherwise forget it. I said, so that made her curious to meet me. And I think that was a good idea, because if she said, please, please, she wouldn't even care. So just 20 days before I met her, we became a closest friend. She shared the same spirit, and she is helping all the women. And now she's a co-founder of Pink Belt and the bestest friend I could find. So Pink Belt gave me one brother, right here, another one is here, obviously, and one the bestest friend there.
Well, we are all proud to have met you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Aparna. Thank you, TJ, for your beautiful work. Thank you all for being with us, and to Mary Pickford for welcoming us so graciously tonight. You are all an inspiration. Thank you.